TIFU by calling the neighbor's kid a fucking slut. So we recently adopted a dog, who is old enough, around 8 or so. We asked the previous owners if she was neutered and they said yeah because they got her from the pound and they do that themselves as standard, which to be fair they do. So last week I started noticing blood around the house and realized it was coming from our beloved dog. Along with the blood, this tiny neighborhood stray would be constantly at our door, round about the time the bleeding started. We made an appointment with the vet to check her out and if she's not neutered then get it taken care of. In the meantime this local dog has been at my door non-stop, and has been barking, howling at everyone and humping anything that moves, or doesn't move for that matter. As a result we've decided to keep our dog inside until the snip because I'm not ready to be a grandparent. The last 2 days I've chased this dog off our doorstep with the spray and shout combo and it's been working. This morning I heard scratching at the door and figured it must be Quagmire Dog, so I go to get my spray bottle but it's nowhere to be found so I say fuck it and open the door and shout piss off you fucking slut. Unfortunately it was not Sir Humps at my door but the next door neighbor's 3-year-old calling for my 4-year-old to come play. Her mother was standing at our conjoined fence as we always make sure that each of our kids make it to the other's house safely. Luckily the kid didn't cry as I think she didn't even understand the vulgarity I yelped, and I quickly explained to the neighbors I thought it was the dog. Thankfully she's also had the same issue with Red Rocket and we laughed about it and I apologized but damn for a minute I thought her husband was gonna challenge me to a duel. TLDR, Horny Dog on my doorstep, I shouted profanity, turned out to be a kid who just learned some new words. You know that kid will repeat that word again in a totally awkward context. Watched E.T., the movie with my 5-year-old nephew. He sat quietly watching until Elliot said penis breath. The nephew immediately asked what penis breath meant. I laughed too hard to answer. My wife tried to explain that it's not something he should repeat without really saying what it meant. Over the next 2 days that we had him he said it 4 or 5 times when she wasn't around just to get me laughing. Irrelevant comment, like the rest of my post, he is 17 now and still gives us hugs every time we see him. Lol sounds like the time I got a phone call from my buddy and I immediately answered and said what, dirty dick in his language. It was actually his mom calling from their home phone number and she just cracked up laughing and said she was glad I was learning and asked if I knew where he was at. Well, at least you can consider the ice broken when it comes to your neighbors. Lamau at Sir Humps a lot, we call our dog Sir Shit a lot. LMFAO. My fiancé did this to me once. I had gotten to his apartment, knocked on the door and he shouted go away. I was like what the actual fuck. He thought I was a neighbor kid who he had already sent away 3 times today. Lol, but someone ought to neuter that stray or there will be more horny dogs around. Reminds me of when I picked up the phone and said hello, Kinky Joe's massage parlor and it was the parish priest. I expected it to be my mum, who was about the only person to use my landline number back when I still had a landline, especially on a Sunday, and it was an in-joke with her. Next time I saw the guy though he asked me how the massage business was coming along. Greater than I thought her husband was going to challenge me to a duel. I almost laughed my ass off the porcelain throne. Skull. What a wild story. I loved everything about it. Especially Sir Humps a lot.